Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can, just tell me that I can.
Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man. As you can see by the title, man, once again today, I'm finna be debunking a common myth within the sport of boxing, and that is elite fighters dunking elite fighters or elite fighters fighting bums. So, with that intro, you know that was a good intro, so I ain't gotta worry about trying to do too much intro in terms of the talking. We're gonna get straight into this action. So, I've been getting very irritated here recently with boxing because boxing is where it's in a good place. The best that it's been in some years. You know, with a lot of the top fighters, you know, are actually piecing together fights and stuff like that to fight each other. But then I'm noticing things that I'm constantly hearing, and I'm constantly seeing certain fighters get trademarked with it. So obviously, you know, Canelo Alvarez is one of the top ones that people talk about, how he keep fighting, ducking competition, you know, about the Benavidez thing. Now, who knows? I don't know specifically whether he's dunking Benavidez, but my thing is this. For one, look at Canelo's history. Look at all the people that he's beat and he's fought. Look at him fighting Floyd Mayweather when he was as young as he was. He lost that fight. Look at him fighting Miguel Cotto. He beat Miguel Cotto. Look at him fighting, you know, Triple G. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't understand. So you mean to tell me that all of a sudden he can go from wanting to fight some of the top fighters and some of the most dangerous fighters to now being afraid to fight these new up-and-coming fighters or fighters that might not be up-and-coming, that's just not as popular as the other guys? Like, make it make sense. Now, I have seen and I have heard from Floyd Mayweather and was just talking about in terms of draws, but then even when you think about it, so you look at it like this. The same label that Canelo Alvarez is being hit with is the same label that Shakur Stevenson is being hit with. He's fighting bums. The same label that Tank Davis is being hit with. He's fighting bums. And the same label that Floyd Mayweather was getting hit with. Now, this is what they did. See, Floyd was fighting. Now, we're going to talk about Floyd. Floyd was fighting the top guys. You know, his hit list is long, man, from Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Marcus Maidana, Pacquiao. Did I say Canelo already? I think I might have said Canelo already. Sugar Shane Mosley, Arturo Gatti, Ricky Hatton. Man, the list goes on and on. But see, this is what they do with Floyd. They don't say he was fighting bums. They say, oh, he waited too long to fight these fighters. And when you look at a lot of these fighters they're saying that about, Floyd was actually older than those fighters. But once again, just like I told you guys, if you go back and look at my last video about Lamar Jackson, them saying Lamar Jackson isn't a good quarter, or he folds in the playoffs, it's all propaganda. The people who are in front of these cameras getting on national television and saying this stuff, and people who don't really know too much about anything, they're running with it. So now we're going to bounce back to the sport of boxing. So tell me, how does a bum get to the professional level? How does a bum even get to the point to where they could fight these top guys that we're talking about in terms of the Shakur Stevensons, in terms of the Canelo Alvarez, in terms of the Tank Davises? My thing is this. This is how I'm looking at it logically, right? So if the guys that these guys are fighting are bums, quote unquote, what y'all are saying, why would a top fighter give them any time of day? Because if they're bums, I would assume that they wouldn't be a pay-per-view draw. Make it make sense. These are the same people who were saying that Terrence Crawford can't sell fights, but if you go look at the actual books, Terrence Crawford fights be sold out, and he makes a very nice amount of money. But once again, propaganda. He gets the title of he can't sell fights. Now everybody wants to go and say that, but don't nobody do their research about it. It's the same thing when it comes to saying these top fighters are ducking each other or don't want to fight each other. This is my thing. what makes a professional fighter is their mentalities. They're wired differently than we are. I don't think too many professional fighters, they probably have nerves when it comes to fighting and performing, but at the end of the day, they train for this. So I can't think of too many professional fighters who are going to willingly duck each other. Like, this is what they do. They fight. They didn't get to that point in their careers to get all the way to the highest level of boxing just to run away from each other. You know what I mean? So that's the type of stuff that I don't like, how they like to say. But then I see that certain fighters only the ones that get who get noted, who get hit with this. Like Ryan Garcia, and I'm a big fan. I like Ryan Garcia. I hate to see what he's going through now in terms of all the legal trouble. And I hope he's really okay mentally. But I never ever heard them saying anything about him ducking fights or fighting less than competition. I never heard anything about that. But you look at, like I say, when Shakur Stevenson fight, every time he has a fight, everybody's saying that, okay, he fighting a bum. And then when they say he fighting a bum, all they say, okay, he's a boring fighter and he runs. Bro, do y'all understand the concept of boxing and what boxing is? To hit and not get hit. It's not to meet up in the center of the ring and let's just say, okay, we just going to sit there and keep hitting each other and whoever falls down is a winner. That was the whole reason why a lot of people discredited Floyd. But then the thing about it, it's hard to discredit Floyd because Floyd gave you the best of both worlds. Early on in his career at Pretty Boy Floyd, he was applying pressure. Later on the backstretch of his career, when he became Money Mayweather, he started becoming a smart defensive fighter, more defensive focused opposed to being offensive focused. But it's like, you can't win. You look at all those labels they didn't hit Shakur with. And they even hit him with the draw, too, of him not being able to sell. They say that he's a boring fighter. They say that he runs. They say that he can't sell. So it's like, but at the end of it, but still, though, he's still climbing the ranks. Still, though, he's still a top-ranked fighter. So if all that's true, then you see what I'm saying? And then you got guys, like I said, you got guys like Rolly Romero coming out and saying, Shakur Stevenson, all he can do is put people to sleep. When he'd have been put to sleep twice by Tank and by Pitbull Cruz. I'm just saying. But that's propaganda. He want to go on here and say that when he should be focused on standing upright in them two fights that he had, opposed to focusing on what Shakur doing, because Shakur's coming out of every fight standing upright. Same thing with Canelo. Canelo and Benavidez, would that be a good fight? Yeah. Would that fight sell? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's not a mark, because I heard De La Hoya say this too. He said that that's a mark against Canelo's legacy. No, it's not. It's no mark against it gets aggravating sometimes, man, because it's no, and respect to De La Hoya. I was looking at the De La Hoya in the Shannon Sharp interview. And he was just saying, like, a lot of people was telling him why fight some of these people when he fought, Manny Pacquiao, stuff like that. And he was like, he accepts the challenge. So, shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. And that type of mentality is what makes Oscar De La Hoya Oscar De La Hoya. And I wish that a lot of fighters can adapt that philosophy. So shout out to De La Hoya, no shade at him. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that Canelo not fighting Benavidez at this specific time takes away from his legacy. A lot of times you guys have to understand too that it's hard sometimes for two fighters to land to land in that same opening to where he doesn't have a fight coming up and he doesn't have a fight coming up, and we could make that happen. That's just like, you look at with the Terrence Crawford thing when they were saying trying to make him a Canelo fight land up. You got to think Terrence Crawford was in having a fight, and then after him, now Canelo's fighting. So let's just say by the time Canelo get done fighting, somebody else then opportunity came up and Terrence Crawford then booked it. And then at the same time, like I say, it's those times in between, because you got to consider, okay, how much damage did I take in this fight? Now, if you going in the fight and leaving out like Mike Tyson was doing, knocking people out in the first round, then yeah, you can fight more times because you're barely taking if any damage, if any. And it's like, we have to understand, like I even heard Andre Ward, him and Terrence Crawford was talking about that in the interview about, fighters and the damage. Like a lot of times we think us as fans, because these guys haven't been knocked out, and a lot of times these guys don't come out of fights with scratches. In our minds, we thinking that, oh man, they good. But you're not realizing that those hits that they took in that fight those hits they took in the fight before that, the hits that they're going to take in the fight after that, on top of the hits they took from they was a little all up to now, all those hits add up after a while. You know what I mean? So we have to kind of prioritize these fighters' safety. At the end of the day, we're fans, we're broadcast analysts or whatever. So we do want to see this, but we can't let that come at the cost of these people, these guys' safety, because these guys still have families that they have to provide for, families that they got to be there for. And I'm all for seeing these fights, but sometimes we got to be a little bit more understanding in terms of scheduling not lining up, but then also too, we need to stop discrediting other fighters that's to work their way up to get to put themselves in a position to be able to fight a Canelo, to be able to fight a Gervonta Davis, to be able to fight a Floyd Mayweather when they did. You know what I mean? If it was somebody that they were saying that was less than that Floyd should have fought opposed to the person he was fighting. You know what I mean? So it's almost like the same thing I was saying about the Lamar Jackson situation. Y'all saying that Lamar Jackson folded in the playoffs. I don't believe that. Like, why say that? And because when you say that, you discredit the Kansas City Chiefs defense and what they did to make it a rough game for him. You know what I mean? So, like I say, we gotta get out of the way of these bootleg or these off-brand analysts that just come on here and say things for the clicks, and get the people on here who actually know what they're talking about and who looks deeper than just the surface. And that's what I'm trying to bring to sports analysis and sports broadcasting and things of that nature. But I ain't gonna talk y'all to death with that. I just want to kind of briefly touch on that because that's something that grinds my gears and it's been irritating me. When I keep seeing them saying top fighters, oh, he's fighting bums. It's like man. So I just had to come touch on that briefly. But man, I do look forward to some of the boxing fights coming up. We got Canelo fight coming up. And I'm pretty sure in the near future we're going to be hearing about a Gervonta Davis fight, so I'm excited for this. So like I said, the state of boxing is in a very great place right now, and I'm enjoying it. And I just want to, be able to enjoy it and be able to enjoy what I hear in the bullcrap propaganda being projected and making it seem like great fighters are as great as they are because they take an easy fight or less fights. Like, come on, man. Like, who wants to keep hearing that? You know what I mean? So, but like I said, if you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And when you subscribe, click that post notification bell. That way you be notified every time I upload, man. Because just as you guys can see, I got these videos coming back to back like Drizzy Drake say, man. So you don't want to miss nothing. You want to stay tuned to some of the highest level of sports analysis is what I'm bringing to the world. Not just YouTube, but the world. So you want to be able to say you was a part of that before it boom blows up. So man, make sure you subscribe, man, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out to stay. Peace.